We're into the fall season now, officially, now the second day of the fall season. And here to talk about fall travel all across the Great Lakes State is Kelly Wolgamott. She is the Director of Travel Marketing for Pure Michigan and joins us on today's edition of the Megacast. Kelly, thanks for being with us.
Oh, thank you for having me. And the weather outside is definitely fall-like today. We're enjoying this.
Yes, it's an exciting time of year for many people who love to come to Michigan in the fall season, see the colors change, experience the cider mills, and so much other fun and events happening all throughout the Great Lakes State. What are some of your favorite fall events and fall happenings that people should be paying attention to this fall that are happening across Michigan?
You know, I really love the road trip, right? And I think the road trip in Michigan is just such a great road trip destination and it doesn't disappoint in the fall, right? And to see the beautiful leaves and the cute, quaint towns along the coastline. There's a lot of opportunities for taking that road trip and stopping along the way to experience the towns, the culture, head to the cider mill, grab a couple pumpkins. Specifically, I think the West Michigan Pike is such a great experience. You can go all the way from New Buffalo, Michigan, all the way up to Mackinac City and just provide you with just a great road trip opportunity.
And Kelly, in terms of road tripping this fall, one of the reasons people love to road trip in Michigan is in the fall is to see the colors in so many different landscapes and so many different areas of Michigan because there are so many different kinds of places, beach towns, forestry. There's lakefront, and so many different places that often have that different angle, that different combination of colors. So when do you suggest if people are coming into Michigan, they don't know a whole lot about the state, but they know that there's great fall foliage? When do you suggest is the best time of the year for them to come into Michigan, take some time to go on a road trip and explore the colors all throughout the Lower Peninsula and the Upper Peninsula?
Yeah, so color prediction is an art, right? So we're all relying on Mother Nature and how the leaf color does progress through the state. So Upper Peninsula is going to start first, and you are seeing some color pop there now. But within the next couple of weeks, you're going to see some peak color up in the Upper Peninsula and throughout the Lower Peninsula now too. You are seeing some dots of that color, but that will be probably early October, which has traditionally been the time that people can experience that, peak color season. But, all through October is also a wonderful time to experience the nature, and you'll still see some color throughout the Lower Peninsula.
And it's also a great time for wine lovers in the state of Michigan. People talk about cider as being a favorite in the fall all across Michigan, and that's very much the case. There are great cider mills all across the state in all different regions, but there's also a lot of great wineries, and people love to explore those wineries in the fall season on the weekends, and then take a road trip or even take a week-long trip and explore many of them all across the state. Where are some of your favorite locations in Michigan to explore some of our wineries?
Yeah, so we're really fortunate in Michigan, right? Because we do have two distinct areas in the state that produce a lot of wine, and specifically Traverse City. Everyone's very familiar with Traverse City and the wine industry up there in the Old Mission Peninsula and Leelanau. Just beautiful scenery and just beautiful winery experiences. And they are really experiences now, right? Tour the winery, sit back, have some food and just explore their grounds, which is incredibly beautiful. But also in Southwest Michigan, there's the fertile soil there as well, the moderate temperatures that provide just a really dynamic winemaking opportunity. And there's, a lot of different wineries in the Southwest Michigan, like the Brown Bar, St. Julian, that are also provide, those great experiences for fall wine experience.
We're joined by Kelly Wolgamott, the Director of Travel Marketing at Pure Michigan, joining us on today's edition of the Megacast. Your trip begins at michigan.org to find more information on everything you can do in the fall here in the Great Lakes State. And Kelly, it's also a great time of the year for exploring Michigan's trails. So many different rails to trails networks here in southeastern Michigan, but also really great inland trails and interforest trails as well that people can explore. Where are some of your favorite locations for those that like to hike hike, those that like to do some biking along Michigan's trails, especially now in the fall season when the weather is so much nicer and you can spend a whole day outside on these trails and make a trip of it.
Yeah. So, and it's actually, I believe this week is Michigan Trail Week because we do have the most trails of any state. And as you mentioned, a lot of different unique opportunities that are along the water. Also inland as well, that provide you just a really great experience and reconnect with your family and friends and get outdoors and, get that exercise. Fall is really a beautiful time. I know everyone, gravitates to the Sleeping Bear Dune region area in the summer months, but that's a really unique opportunity too in the fall and the beauty there along the along the water and the trails. Hartwick Pines is also a beautiful trail, also an accessible trail as well. Throughout the state, there's so many different accessible trails to get out and experience from individuals that may need that extra for mobility reasons.
You mentioned the small cities of Michigan too. It's a great time of the year to explore those cities, especially as the peak season of the year, the summer is coming to an end, and these businesses are trying to get that last little bit of surge before things not necessarily end for the year or slow down entirely for the year, but kind of coast throughout the rest of the year instead of the surge of the spring and the summer. Where are some of your favorite and most interesting small town locations for people to visit within Michigan, if they're in Michigan or if they're coming from out of state, and make a whole trip out of these interesting little towns that all have some different wrinkle to offer?
Yeah, they really do. And, our not only Lake Michigan, along Lake Michigan, but Lake Huron. And just to point out the US 23, I think that is just a beautiful, drive throughout the fall months, great leave opportunities to see for the leave peepers, but also just really some cute towns like Tawas, and Oscoda, and then going all the way up to Alpena and just providing, great experiences, not only outdoor experiences, but food and beverage. And, that US 23 corridor is a bit different from a personality side from the west side of the state. So you're going to see a bunch of, cute, quaint cottages dotting along the road. You're going to see lighthouses and, of course, the beauty of Lake Huron.
We're joined by Kelly Wolgamott from Pure Michigan on today's edition of the Megacast. Kelly, another couple minutes with you today before we'll need to wrap things up. Any other Michigan travel suggestions for the fall? Maybe some hidden gems we haven't talked about or we often don't talk about when we think of Michigan travel in the fall that people should be at least exploring maybe for this year or at least keeping in their back pocket for years to come.
Yeah, and I don't want to forget about our cities, right? We have all of these great natural destinations to get out, but we also have really dynamic cities that really, I love going to our cities. I always feel re-energized after spending some time there from Detroit and their award-winning riverfront walk that is such a great experience to their museums, to their shopping, as well as their dining. Also, Grand Rapids with the Frederick Meyer Gardens and Sculpture Park is such a great experience to go to. And this fall, they also have Art Prize going on right now. So that's a great family-friendly opportunity to walk through Grand Rapids and just really enjoy the personality of that city that it has to offer at this travel destination.
Explore more about Michigan in fall and some travel suggestions as well at michigan.org/fall. Kelly, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for the opportunity.